Welcome back, everybody, to Humankind with me, Daniel, from Dan Has Fun. Playing some more Humankind, as I alluded to. What we're going to do straight off the bat, because in typical fashion, I don't remember what we did last episode, but I'm going to enact some slavery laws off the bat, just so I don't forget to do it. We're going to have criminal slaves, just so that on our commons quarters we get a bit more food and industry. If we have a look at our quick situation, we're actually behind in terms of the era that we're in. So we're going to get this competitive spirit era star in 17 turns. Just it's the way of the game, trying to help the people who are behind technologically kind of catch up a bit. But I did have a quick look just before this recording started, just to see what we would be doing. As we are the Celts, and they are an agrarian nation, or culture, I guess, we definitely do want to get more population. We should get this pretty quickly. I'm not worried about it. Military, probably not. We are 4 techs away from getting another era star, so that may well be where we go. Gold is going to be a bit touch and go because we're not making a huge amount. We're very unlikely to get that 10th expansionist star unless we declare war on somebody. We're very close to an aesthete star, and then the builder stars. We're 6 districts behind, so we're pretty close to a lot of them. We just aren't hyper close to any other than the influence one, which we'll get in like 2 turns time. Anyway, if we look at our situation, I did have a quick look just at the cities before we start. This swordsman will never get built right now, so we're just going to do that. That's not what I meant to do. Put that district back there, and we're going to make that the top priority. There we are. And we can delete probably that from the queue. We'll just put it at the end for now. That's fine. Reason why it won't build is that we have a full stack of 4 units on this city, and because that's the maximum amount of units per tile that we can do right now, it's effectively stuck. It has nowhere for those built units to go, so it just won't build them. Anyway, we still have 3 units moving around. I know we just got Nemesis as a fairly new city, and is war in our plan sometime soon? Probably. The Bear Nation is terrified of us. We have 100 war support against them, so we could theoretically attack them whenever we like. And we've been demanding that they pay 200 gold for them attacking us, and they haven't done so. I don't know if... Are they allied to anybody in terms of their relations? That's clearly an issue. Percentage sign, diplomatic state type, peace description, outsider. That probably shouldn't be there. I know at the time of this recording there's been an update, I believe, in the game. I haven't looked at the the update notes or anything like that. But needless to say, we probably shouldn't see that. And no, he's not. He's just at peace with everybody generically, so that'll be fine. So we may well go after taking Memphis. If we do that, we would probably want to take a couple of units from our capital. I'm just going to plot out how this would go. Let's say we do move a couple of them over, I don't know, onto this resource, just so I know where they're going to go. And then we do have this stack of 3, albeit they are 2 scouts, so the scouts aren't going to be very helpful, really. We'll put that unit over here as well, like that. So that the remaining 2 scouts, we don't really need to do anything with them. We'll leave them where they are, just so they're fog busting effectively. If anything, actually, I might just take them and run them down the coast down here, just to see if any curiosities have shown up, or if it actually scouts any naval units I don't know about. We're getting the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus in 3 turns, which will be awesome. And then once that finishes, we'll have Haojing start to produce some military units. Just so we have something going. I don't want to take units away from the west side, though, purely because our orange neighbour to the left here is pretty strong, and I don't want to leave myself undefended. And black has a good chance of attacking us as well, but if they do, I believe it's either going to be Akkad or Feng Hao that they're going to attack us in. And we have fairly good units there both ways. These 3 units, though, probably can move at this point. I'm just having a look at what's nearby. this is not a very well defended city, is the problem. So maybe I'll just leave those 3 units around just to make sure that there's nothing dangerous coming through that way. It's probably the safest bet. Because yeah, I definitely don't want to go after Orange yet. Obviously there'll have to be a time for that because they're pretty big. They're in the lead in fame by actually a fair distance. So it is something to keep an eye out for. Anyway, if we go through who needs to move, these guys can be a little bit more movement, so we'll just move them down there. That's fine. This unit obviously has a ton of extra movement, but we're just going to station them in place. And we're going to end turn. AI's thinking about what it wants to do. It is something I've noticed. This game is a little bit slow, and I don't have the world's best, device or anything recording this from or anything, but it does feel like the AI takes quite a long time to take its turns, even in a fairly early game. Apparently, the Aztecs ended a treaty with us, so we're just not having any trade going on at all. Fine. Not really all that worried about it. I'm not worried about them too much. Here's a unit. I'm just gonna... Do I have any weird rules with you guys that's going to make this bad? Well, we have open borders. The skirmishing. Do I want to go for closed borders? I'm going to close borders, because even though they'll get war support against us for doing that, these guys are wimpy. So I don't really care. I mean, we could attack them too, but they're just going to run away. Jump cut, had to go deal with the cat there. He's fine, just scratching things he's not meant to be. Anyway, where was I? Yes, so we did try to attack that brown unit, it just ran away. Not a huge surprise, we massively, overpowered it. Nothing else has spawned down there. These guys, I might as well, kind of move in that direction, see if I happen to see it or not. So that's fine. So we're building food in Nemessos. Mausoleum's nearly done in Haojing. Feng Hao is still going for food. And then we have a CAD building a forge for more production. Okay, that seems alright with me. Let's keep going. Got a new population. We do have that era star I mentioned for influence, so we're good there. Still 3 away from being able to go to our next era and next culture. If indeed we do end up changing culture, it's not mandatory. We'll see what we want to do. I am just going to bring these scouts back, because clearly there's nothing down there to fog bust. That's fine. Is there anything over here that's going to be scaring us? Nope. Okay, so we'll start moving those units back again to protect Nemessos. I'm actually going to queue it up now so I don't get distracted and not do it. So we're going to do that and just have it generally go in that direction. So that's fine. Alright, next turn we should have, yep, there's the mausoleum being built. And we can claim a new wonder because you can only have 1 wonder claimed at a time. So we get 50 fame for building that wonder. Get another fame, 100 fame for actually getting it built. And in terms of our options, we don't have to build another wonder, but it might be worth just claiming one. Apparently the Ghanaians have just destroyed, had a load of trade routes there being destroyed. Don't really care right now. In terms of options, we have 2. So we have the Colossus of Rhodes, which is just a lot of stability and fame. It's actually not bad. And the Lighthouse of Alexandria. Stability, vision range, which is helpful, but it's predominantly boosting the naval side, which we don't care about because this is going to be a Pangaea style map. So we're going to claim the Colossus of Rhodes. We don't have to build it straight away, but we've claimed it. And we've got an event, the Flooded Lands. So if we gamble, there's a chance of some terrible consequences, as it alludes to. We can adapt, which again still has some poor outcome potentially, or we can protect them. We'll spend 120 gold. We're making 94 a turn. I don't mind spending that money.
Of all the epithets other empires
right.
Wishy-washy won't be one of them.
So yeah, we can move these together. That's now going to be 1 army. It's not a particularly strong army for this time period. I mean, strength 17, strength 18. It's not, going to blow anybody away, but I don't really know what they have. There's a 3 stack of units. They have noble javeliners, which are better than what I've got. Don't get me wrong, but they're not amazing. And swordsmen. So if we do end up attacking them, we're going to probably end up with fairly similar strength units. Because, yeah, if you look at mine, 27, 26, 26, and then obviously there's just the scout there. What are we researching for tech? Siege tactics. Yeah, I'm good with that. And then army hierarchy allows us to have 5 stacks instead of just the 4 stacks we have right now. So actually, I'm absolutely good with that. That's another population.
Time is precious.
We're going to lose a little bit of trade if we attack them, but I feel like we're going to have to. My concern is if we don't actually take brown out, that they're just going to get eaten by black. And then black, who's already about the same size as me, is going to start causing me issues. And I don't want to end up in the situation where I might get attacked by black and orange simultaneously, because if that happens, I'm not going to say we're doomed, but we're going to have, obviously, some major issues. Hao Jing, what are you now building? Oh, apparently I was going to go for a big old sciencey build-up after this. Temporarily, I'm going to put that on the back burner, I think. That would be stoneworks for extra productions, probably worth it. I'm actually going to... I think I'm going to buy out the building that the district is trying to get right now. Yeah, I'm going to. So we're just going to buy that out. That's fine. It's going to be expensive, obviously. But then what we're going to do, we're going to put the stoneworks as the #1 priority. And then we're just going to get a couple, not a lot, but just a couple of military units out. Now, what do we want to build? Honestly, it's probably going to be these unique units. They're not particularly great. Really, their biggest strength is that if they take damage, they still attack at full strength. But they only have a military strength of 25, so they're not actually that good. But they're better than really anything else I've got going on right now. Apparently, the Ghanaians have changed how they feel about us. They are now jealous for some reason. Don't think you have to be, but to each their own. It's absolutely fine. And, yep, there are units moving back. So I'm just going to have them kind of wander around this area, not go too far away, just because I don't want Nemesis to get attacked before it has at least some level of foundation up there. We can get a new civic for industrial production. Do we want to do that right now? Probably. So if we go for nationalized industries, you get more farmers, and just by extension, the capacity to get more food, because you can have more people doing that job. Or you can go the opposite way and go for money. If you privatize things. Because I'm kind of indifferent on those effects, I want to see more about the ideology. So this would reduce our stability, which I don't really want to. I don't really want to do this either way, I don't think. Because if I reduce stability on this end, I get more production. No, I'm not going to pick either way. I'd rather have the bonus to stability at the moment. So that's fine. Apparently, the Ghanaians and the Mauryans have stopped warring at this point. That's probably not good for us, because they would have been distracted with one another. So, not ideal, but we'll play the cards we're dealt. I am going to take a singular unit, though, of swordsmen out of Feng Hao and have it come over here. Purely because I want the, if I'm going to build a unit, I don't want to forget about it, and then I start building units in Feng Hao, and then I can't build any units in Feng Hao. Because, obviously, if you try and build a unit, as we alluded to earlier, if you try and build a unit in this game in a city that's got no space, it just doesn't do anything. And I feel like you should get a much more distinct pop-up when that happens, but you don't. You don't get anything. Yeah, a pop-up for something like that I think would be really helpful. We do have an era star for population. We're going to need another 19 population to get the 3rd star within this field before the end of the era. I don't see that happening, but you never know. And apparently the Morians are afraid of us. Probably because they got their butts handed to them. But I'm not going to attack them right now. They're in an inconvenient place for me to do so, even if I wanted to. There's nothing going on here. I'm just going to take these guys back at this point. That's fine. And we have another event. Oh, it's just a follow-up to the Flooded Lands. So we got lucky, and nothing has happened. I'll take it. 120 gold to prevent a potentially catastrophic event, I guess isn't too bad, right? Alrighty, so the turns are flying by right now because there's not a huge amount going on. We do have siege tactics now, though, so we can get stacks of 5. We can get a ballista, or ballista, which we won't see unless we're actually actively sieging. They're just a lot better than effectively a giant, log with a sharpened stick at the end, which is what we were using previously. We do have to pick some new technologies to research. I'm tempted to just go for the cheap one so I can say I've got more technologies researched. Sailing's not particularly important. Getting an aqueduct does give you plus 20 stability, so I'm going to get that going next, and it only takes 3 turns. Meanwhile, the Morians, so the light greens want a non-aggression pact. I'm actually going to say yes to that, because as we go back to the map,
Don't be discouraged.
we can't really reach them,
But you're not out of it.
so I'm not worried about actually attacking them. So that's fine. Anyway, I still don't see any movement of armies for Brown, which is good. I don't see them trying to get into my territory. Yep, so far so safe. We got another population in Haojing. Actually, this turn I think we'll do a little bit of maintenance on our population. So, every town should have expert policy. I just noticed that one says balance. We'll go for expert. Does anybody else need to be flipped to expert? When you have it as expert policy, it just lets you set the priorities as opposed to the game trying to work it out. So, if we go through all our cities, Haojing right now is not pumping out any science whatsoever, really. It's at 63, but nobody's actually doing any active working, which is fine for now. We'll deal with getting some in here once we have our research quarters built, because then it'll be a lot more efficient to do science. In this case right now, if we take a farmer off, let's say we just put it in money for a moment, we're still making a ton of food every turn, so that's fine. And we have a strong population here. We are going to get a little bit in money because as we build more military units, it's going to get very, very expensive to upkeep them. So we are going to definitely do that. This city, Akkad, has a whole whopping 4 passive science a turn. Still making good food. No, I'm going to leave that as it is. I like that. Pangaea has 4 scientists going, so it's pumping out the most of our science. I'm actually going to have it do all 5 right now, even at the cost of some money. Food is nice and balanced, so we have no issues there. And then Nemessos really just wants to keep growing, but if I take this off... Oh yeah, we're still going to be growing nice and quickly. We'll just get another one in industry so we can get some of these safety buildings out and get things going that way. And then after that, it's tempting to start building the Colossus of Rhodes, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Alright, so in terms of our situation, we definitely should attack Memphis. We just got to. It feels like a massive missed opportunity if we don't. We do get a builder star because we're now up to 32 districts, which is awesome. So only 1 star away from getting into the next era. We just got hydrology. We apparently just discovered... I have no idea how to pronounce that. The Kawa Egen. But that gives us 30 science. Let's pick another cheap tech. Fortifications... does give us citizens, which effectively upgrades our defensive units if we're being sieged. So I guess we'll get that because it's super quick and cheap. So we'll do that. We do see some units floating around up here. These guys are cordial. So that's perfectly fine. So other than being cordial then, what they shouldn't attack is, yeah, this independent people will not attack you. Okay, that's awesome. So we're good there. If we go to Zeus for a second, we're only in 4th in terms of our patronage. But not helped by the fact that they are incredibly liberty and tradition focused. And yeah, we're kind of liberty focused, but we are diametrically opposed to them on the other front. So yeah, we don't have a very good match there. Having said that, we could bribe them to increase that, but I don't really see the need to do so. So we're just not going to waste the money. We only need 1 more era star. We should get that actually in 2 more turns. Do we want to go to the next era straight away when that happens? I guess we might as well, because we are behind. So yeah, we'll deal with that in a moment. There's fortifications. None of these are going to be super quick to research. So, do we want mounted warfare? Does give us better horses. Or do we want rhetoric? We're going to get rhetoric because actually getting the theatre can be kind of helpful. They want us to trade everything. I will accept. I'm fine with that. Speaking of which, do they have anything of any interest to me? They do have ambergris. How much is it to buy? Yeah, I'll take that. What else could be potentially useful for us? Incense gives us more money. And spend some money to make money. So that's 210. Is the other one cheaper? 243. It is definitely not. So we'll get that in as well. And if we're trading with them, they'll like us more. I don't think they're going to be an issue for competing for the the game win or anything, but it might be nice to have them if we end up having to attack Orange down the line, having them as a a meat shield effectively to keep the fight with Orange on 2 fronts. So that might certainly help. Beyond that, yeah, these guys can't upgrade. This is not a very strong army. Let's be real. We're gonna take 1 of these units over here. I think. Yeah, we will. Because what we're gonna do effectively is get 2 armies out there. I'm just gonna have it move that way for now, and I'll combine them afterwards. I really want to have 2 armies. I want to have 1 that goes to do the siege, 1 that's kind of on mop-up in case they actually do hurt us in any way. And then I want a 3rd one on the left-hand side in case we then get attacked by Orange when we attack Brown. And we do have that star, so do we want to move to the next era straight away? I only need 1 more tech to get some more scores, so I actually might wait just until that's done. And we'll end the video, I think, when we get to that point, because then we get to pick a new one. Yeah, they now absolutely hate us with a passion, which I guess is understandable. The problem with that is that they're likely to attack us. This is really bad, because obviously we spent the whole time preparing to attack Brown, but they might actually attack us. Do Black hate us still? Yeah, they hate us too. So needless to say, they're not gonna propose an alliance. This is actually going to be really problematic, because it means our 2 big neighbors both hate us. The only neighbor that we have that doesn't hate us is the small fry that we should really be attacking. And then I don't really know what state Pink and Lime Green are in. Although clearly those 2 are allies, so it actually might be worth proposing an alliance. They said no, I suspect, based on that. Yeah, they said no dice. Fine, because they're jealous. It wasn't a huge surprise. So will these guys ally? They will. That's also really helpful because we'll see the map now. Probably should have done that earlier. But this does show us. So they have 3 cities. Pink is down to 1 city, so actually I don't really care that they wouldn't ally with me. That's fine. I actually thought this map would be bigger than this. Huh. Okay. Well, it could certainly be a lot worse. We can pick a culture. We're not going to. I just want to click that so it'll go away. And then we have the language of bureaucracy. Do we want to force it? It costs us 100 gold, but it means that we get plus 10 money for 10 turns, it effectively wipes one another out. If we do that, we're going to get less food, but we're going to get more stability. Or we can yield, so we're just going to say, no, we're not interested in forcing anybody to do anything different. We're just going to do that for now. I'm fine with that. It doesn't change a huge amount. So, now the question in our, that we really got to go through is, do we still go after Brown, even though we might get tag teams by Black and Orange? I think we do, and if we die, it might be a shorter play through the game than I intended. But that's more fun. Housing. Maybe we'll get one more unit out there just in case. Yeah, let's get another one as a precaution. So I was going to pop that up front. We'll let him build one science quarter first, and then we'll pop that up front. Meanwhile, this scout is just sat in place. Let's have you move down here just to see, scout out what's going on, if there's anything of any note. Certainly doesn't lock it. No. Okay, well, we'll have him run over here just to make sure there's nothing that's going to throw as a curve. Meanwhile, these guys can now come together. So that's a 5-unit stack with not massively powerful units, but they're not mugs. But in essence, how this would have to go is that these 2 units would have to sit at the front and just absorb attacks while these guys all get involved. But we're going to wait a turn. At least a turn. Maybe longer. Because I just want to see what happens. Also, Feng Hao. Okay, yeah, they still have the swordsman in their construction queue. Okay, perfect. So far so good. That's fine. Yeah, the Ghanaians aren't going to trade with us. That's fine. They forgave a grievance of ours, which makes sense because we're allied now. That also means they want to do a cultural agreement, which means you get more influence. So I'm all over that. That is perfect. And we're actually going to ask if we can do a scientific agreement as well, so we get more science. So we're definitely going to do that. They are now reverential because they love us. Probably because they're pretty wimpy, but I feel like they will be a good match so that we can, like I said, the key component is, let's say the Ghanaians get, to their breaking point and attack us. Because of the alliance, they would have to worry even about a fairly weak nation, but a nation behind them. Although, something that is interesting, for all this land that I thought the Ghanaians had, they only have 3 cities. So that is interesting. I thought they would have a lot more than that. Like, Black has 4. I have 4. I thought there'd be more going than that. But that's fine. Either way, that's absolutely fine. Are we going to attack this turn? I'm going to say we do, even if we have to lift the siege off afterwards. So we're going to declare war. And then that should put us into combat immediately. They actually have a lot more units than I thought they would, which is interesting. So what we're going to do, because we can use our 2 scouts as reinforcements here. Not that we really expect them to do a huge amount. They would effectively be meat shields. That's why I kept them nearby. We are going to just do a manual battle. They're going to have a... oh my word, look how many units they have. Sneaky guys. That's fine. So effectively what we're going to do here is, for our units, we're going to take the 2 archers and put them right at the back. Like that. And then we are going to take our crappy scouts, put them there. Our horse is just going to go in the corner over here, because then it can run in if it needs to. And then we're just going to put our strongest unit right at the top of this hill. And then our crazy aggressive one we're just going to put, I guess, here. It's not perfect. I'm actually going to put it here. Actually, I'm going to do that with the line instead. Because that way, we're protecting our flag better. Yeah, that makes more sense, I think. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to end deployment. it's not that we think we're necessarily going to win this fight so much as I want to try and batter down some of their defenses, and I want to see what they have too, right? I'm hoping they don't have a ton of indirect units. They do at least have one archer, so we'll have to watch that. That certainly hurt, but then again, that's our, crappy scout units. So that's not a huge surprise. They have a lot of units. Huh. We may have made a terrible decision, guys. We may have made a shocker of a decision. That's part of the fun anyway. What I'm actually going to do before we start our next turn of combat, I'm actually going to end the video. Yeah, my bad. But no, if you did enjoy watching the video, give it a like if you want to. Comment or subscribe if you feel you would like to do so. Otherwise, you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care now. Thank you for watching the video.